Hey everybody, movie reviewer next door here, and I'm back with another review. This time I saw Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black. This is a 2024 drama thriller film directed by Tyler Perry, and it stars Meagan Good, Corey Hardrict, Joseph Lee Anderson, Taylor Polidor, Shannon Wallace, Richard Lawson, and Debbie Morgan. In this film, Ava, a young bank professional, is devastated when her husband Dallas abandons a marriage she is determined to fight for until fate intervenes, revealing Dallas's wicked deeds that have trashed their marriage and once upon a time sabotaged Ava's destiny to be loved by her true soulmate. So, what did I think of Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black? Okay, so the only Tyler Perry movie I've seen up until now, other than this, okay, I've seen Medea Goes to Jail. I've seen Diary of a Mad Black Woman, which I remember not minding when I was younger. Most of these I saw when I was a lot younger. I've seen the clip from the Medea anniversary thing that was on Netflix, which had some really good jokes in it. From the scenes I saw, it had some good humor to it. And I saw Acrimony, which I remember Taraji P. Henson stealing the fuck out of the movie. She is the star. And Tyler Perry acting wise, I haven't seen it a lot other than Alex Cross, which I thought he did a good job in that, but overall the movie was just kind of bland. His performance needed to be in a better movie. This being the newest Tyler Perry movie, it has gotten a lot of shit, and I can see why, but I don't really think it's shit. I think it has a good idea at its core. It has an interesting subject that could be explored in more depth, but there's a lot of issues with this film. It's watchable for Meagan Good, and I'll get to the cast. Meagan Good plays Ava, the main character of this film. She's again bank person, wants to fight for this marriage that's clearly not working out for her. Meagan Good is an actress I've seen in a few things. She was in Saw 5. She was one of the victims in one of the things. She was in Day Shift. I liked her in that. Um, but yeah, she's one of those actresses you see randomly in a lot of things. I do like her. I really like her in this film. Even if some of her dialogue isn't the greatest, I think she is trying. She has a good presence to her. I gave a fuck about the character. And apparently, during the filming of this, either during the filming or before this started filming, they were going, both her and Corey Hardrict were going through a divorces. They weren't married to each other, but they were both going through divorces that were highly publicized. And I think that's an interesting thing for like method acting wise for this film to latch onto. So I think that actually worked in the film's favor. Corey Hardrict plays Dallas. Um, the only other thing I could think of that I've seen Corey Hardrict in, excuse me, that I've seen Corey Hardrict in is Karen, which is not a very well loved movie. Uh, it's quite hated, if I'm being honest. Why is it not trying to say? Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, which Karen I fucking hated. Uh, I think he does a lot better here. He's still not great, I would say, but he's at least trying to do something here. It's working to an extent. Um, and he works in the role. Joseph Lee Anderson plays Benji, the guy that Ava wanted to be with before, but now she can actually have a chance with. I liked him. He was likable, even in the early scenes where it's like this is kind of weird, and then there's an explanation for why he's acting a bit weird. So, I did enjoy the character. Taylor Polidor plays Rona. Uh, she's Ava's friend. I really liked her. I thought I liked this like sassy energy that she brought to the character. I know people will say like, "Oh, it's the offensive like sassy black woman stereotype," but she's a likable character that's sassy and wants the best for her friend. Like, I don't see how that's harmful. But no, I enjoyed her. Apparently, this is her first film. She did a pretty good job. Maybe she's like a maybe she's one of those like comedian turned actresses because she does have a lot of the like sillier lines in the film. Uh, Shannon Wallace plays Jim. He is Rona's either wife or like they're engaged, something like that. I enjoyed him too. He's mostly there to kind of be like technically Dallas's friend through all of this and all that, but Richard Lawson plays Clarence, who is Ava's dad. I really liked him. He's the kind of preacher father thing, but he's been in a lot of films, Poltergeist, uh, Dirty Harry, Streets of Fire, Wag the Dog. He's been in quite a few things. And Debbie Morgan plays Jean, Ava's mother. She's also been in a lot of random black cinema, and she does a good job as well. That's one thing that I can give this film. Most of the performances are pretty solid, and Meagan Good, whenever she's on screen, I think she steals this movie. Not in a bad way. She works. It helps that she is the one who's actually um super likable, and I've gotten to her character because the movie is about her. This film, I will say, part of what I think holds it down is the writing. Tyler Perry wrote this. I'm not huge on Tyler Perry as a writer, and given some of the comments I've heard from other black filmmakers, personalities, they said that Tyler Perry should have left should have produced it, but left the directing, writing, and all that stuff to other people. I do agree here. The direction here is pretty flat. There's a lot of shots that look pretty cheap, and I think this film wouldn't look nearly as cheap if you had some more interesting shots, had some better lighting. There are many parts of this film that feel very substandard. And usually I wouldn't notice like teeny tiny little details, but there were audio editing errors that stuck out like a sore thumb. There's this bit where she's like, maybe I'll try to like upload a clip of it, but not in the video, so this doesn't get like copyright. But there's a bit where our main character Ava, like breathes in and you hear the audio like cut off abruptly, where it's like, and it's supposed to be her like an excitement or like remembering something, and it was really weird. There's this bit where she's dragging somebody out of her house, and it happens again. It's This film is very sloppy in a lot of ways. Again, the lighting in a lot of places is very flat. The scenes that really gave away a lot of the sets, where I think a lot of the sets wouldn't have been given away if the direction was not as kind of. This feels like a BET like TV movie in a way, where there's this bit where they're driving outside of the fancy restaurant, and I can tell so fucking clearly this is either a set or a part of Tyler Perry's like town, because he has like a town that he films a lot of his shit in, and and the inside of the restaurant looks fake. There's just ways to tell. The inside of the feed store that her and her dad go to looks fake. A lot of it just looks bad, and I think a lot of it would look less bad if the camera angles were more interesting, if there was just a bit more variety to the surroundings. It's I'm just not a fan of how this film looks at many times. There are some cool shots, I will give it that. There's this one shot where her and Benji are like in the back of a truck, like talking to each other, drinking whiskey, I think, and the moonlight is bouncing off of the like foggy ground and the grass. It's such a beautiful shot, and I think it really this film captures certain bits of the South, like how beautiful the South can be, and I think that's one thing that they captured really well here, that Tyler Perry really captured well. but most of the film looks kind of bland. The writing in a lot of these situations, I think the fact that Corey Hardrick kind of disappears from the film until like an hour in, because you have all this stuff and then he gets a divorce, he leaves, and you don't see him once Ava goes to her to her parents' house. He doesn't show back up into the film until she gets back to Georgia or to wherever she lives. I forgot where they said they lived. She goes to Georgia at one point. And I think that's a bit of a mistake. You could have built up his character a bit more. We could have learned a bit more about his backstory so that he would be a bit more interesting of a villain for this film. Um, Another thing with that, technically a villain, like, yes, he's a very bad guy, but I think they make it a bit too over the top with his character. Um, like making it like he doesn't have a decent bone in his body. There's bits where he's crying, but I think they're more trying to go for he's trying to guilt trip her into staying with him, even though he clearly doesn't care about her. I just think somebody else should have written this because I don't like Tyler Perry's form of writing. The Christian the Christian messages that people are saying are so shit in this. I don't care. The Christian the Christian themes are basically just don't be with somebody that's making your life hell and um don't let like don't let your man be a shit piece of shit to you. Like, okay, wow, how bad, what bad Christian messaging. But like there's actual issues with this film. You don't need to make up issues that don't exist. But anyway, I'm just not. Again, I think there could be a very interesting movie made about divorce and somebody trying to get back with the person even though they're divorced. I think that could be a very creepy film, but this film kind of starts you in the middle of nowhere. Like, you don't know how their relationship started out until a bit later in the film, and it doesn't really. I feel like it would be more impactful if we saw if instead of it starting out in this funeral for the main character's brother, who then the family like picks him out of the casket and takes him out because the preacher who is Ava's dad starts talking about how he's probably in hell because he was doing crime and then got shot by somebody trying to stop a criminal. Like, this film is a bit too over the top at times for its own good, and that's a kind of a part of Tyler Perry's writing style. It's like that whole um these are the types of movies that, for lack of a better term or for lack of better explanation, would be basically just glorified BET movies. This movie had an almost $20 million budget, um, but it still feels very TV movie-esque in a lot of overdone parts, like the acting at times from Corey Hardrick specifically. Meagan Good is almost always just really solid in this film. I want to make that clear. Meagan Good is not the issue. She is a fine actress, and from seeing this, I can tell that she actually really got into this role because she plays it so well. But I think the script is holding her back. I think the kind of lackluster direction makes this very visually uninteresting and makes a lot of tension scenes feel very much lessened, and just overall I wish the thriller element of it was a bit more present because this is a 2-hour movie and the thriller elements don't come in until about the last 30 to 45 minutes of the film. Uh, as most of it is like I wish they would have picked one because this tries to be both like self-discovery, romance with this new guy because you're getting over your divorce, and it also wants to be crazy divorcee or divorcee, whatever the term, divorcee. tries to get back with her by like making her feel like shit. And if you're gonna do the drama, go for the drama and get some real emotion. And there is real emotion. There's a lot of really nice scenes of emotion, but then again, it kind of contrasts with the kind of crummy thriller aspect. And again, I wish this would have picked one or the other because none of them are completely fleshed out. There's some okay moments, but overall the film just falls flat for me. And I am a bit disappointed because I was actually kind of looking forward to this. I was like, yeah, it's got low reviews, but I've always tried to look for the good in things, and yeah, I can understand people being upset with this, but I do not think this is Tyler Perry's worst movie. Just from what I've seen, I don't think so. But yeah. Other than things, the good things I can say, the score for the film is not that bad. It's fine. Um, Again, a couple nice shots, some nice bits of acting, specifically Meagan Good. And again, you have the concept, you have the groundwork for an interesting story. I just think Tyler Perry needs to stop directing these films and just stay a producer because it's his company. I wish he'd just stay a producer. But yeah, that was my review of Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black. If you've seen the film, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. If you have any recommendations, put them down there as well. Excuse me. And movie reviewer next door.